Okay guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to create a section view based off of the different layers in your clay food. So as you see here, I have the instructions for the clay food section views. You can follow along with those on your own, or you can follow along with me. I already have my 7 different sections of my hamburger. I have the top bun, tomato, the patty, the onion, lettuce, cheese, and bottom bun. So as you can see, they're all gray. There are no particular colors added except for the onion, but I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So on Inventor, you guys already know how to switch the colors, but something that I haven't shown you yet is how to switch the materials. So all you have to do to change the material of this object is go up to this pull down menu, and you will see that you have 3 options. The first option is your favorites, which you don't have anything selected, so that's why you don't see anything. Then you're going to click on Autodesk Materials Library, which is the next thing available. Now this might take a while for everything to load, but once it does, you'll see that you have all this different type of materials. So for this, I want you guys to use different materials for each layer. So for my top bun, and probably for the bottom bun as well, I'm just going to choose aluminum 6061. So now that I have selected my material, I'm going to change the color so it looks like bread. So I'm just going to search through this, and I'm going to choose beige. Since bread is brown, beige works. And I'm going to save it. So now that I have done it for this first one, I'm going to repeat the process for the bottom bun and for my remaining parts. So for the patty, I'm going to choose a different material. It could be steel, it could be metal, it could be plastic, and then I'm going to color it to match what I want it to look like. So for every layer that you guys have, I want you guys to color it the way that it's supposed to look. Now I'm going to do everything off screen, and then I'll come back to you when I am done. So now that I have all my different layers of my burger created and colored, I'm going to now assemble them into one assembly file. Now, if this is something that we haven't done, don't worry, I'm going to walk you through the entire thing. So I'm going to select a standard IAM. So the first thing I want to bring in is my base layer. So my base layer is going to be the bottom bun, and I'm just going to open it. Before I do anything, I'm going to right click and select Place Grounded at Origin. What this does is it locks it into place and it doesn't allow it to move. Now the next thing I'm going to be using, and I'm going to just kind of build it the way that I would build a normal hamburger myself. I'm going to bring in the lettuce. Then I'm going to bring in some onion. And probably a few of those. And let's work with this for right now. So as you see, I'm working with it like this. I'm going to move this around, and this one's going to go this way, and this one's going to go this way, and then this one will just kind of layer right there. Okay, so from the front, this looks pretty good. And I'm going to rotate it so I can see it from, let's say, the right side. Make sure that everything is nice and placed on my burger. This is all in 3D space, so everything's floating. So even though we see it looking right or correctly here, doesn't mean that it's correct. So this one is phasing through the lettuce. Well, we don't want that. So I'm going to click on Free Rotate, then click on this object. And I'm just gonna kind of rotate it like it's, just floating. I'm gonna do the same thing with, not that way, but this way. And the same thing with this one, rotate it like that. And then kind of, I know that it looks like everything's phasing through, but it's fine. Okay. All right. Next, I'm going to bring in my patty. I'm just going to place it right there. And then the next thing is the cheese. It's a big slice of cheese. And the tomato. Oh, the tomato, I do have to rotate it. So I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And I don't like tomato too much. I'm just going to put it right there in the middle. And then the last thing I need is my top bun. And like that. Okay. So as you see, everything kind of lines up. As long as we're working from the front view, everything lines up. But if you do build it in the 3D view, you're going to have things that are not quite in the right spot. So go ahead and save this, and I'm just going to call this my hamburger. And then I'm going to place it on a sheet. So I'm going to use my title block. Make sure that you guys click on ENUS, and there you will find your title block. And we're going to bring in our burger. Okay. And that's it. Actually, and our top view as well. Okay. Now, to finish this section view assignment up, we're going to create a section view of this drawing. So I'm just going to cut it straight in half, right click, and move this over here. And you see all of the different layers. Okay. Now this isn't exactly what I wanted it to look like. I do want to have different layer lines or different coded layer lines. So I'm going to zoom in on this, right click on a section, so let's say the bread. I'm going to right click on that and go to edit. Here I can choose any of these different layer types. You guys can cycle through them however you want. If you have matching items, I would suggest that you use similar layer lines for the matching items or matching features. Now once you have everything with your section views already done, make sure that you only have what we need to see. So yes, I do realize that I put this top view of my burger. You don't see anything, so I'm just going to move it off into the gray space. The gray space means nothing. It won't print. So I want to kind of position this just right. And then I'm going to go to annotate and give it very basic dimensions. Okay, as you guys can see, my dimensions are overlapping each other, so the best thing to do is just to decrease the scale. So I'm just going to type in 0.75 into the scale, and then I'm going to move my dimensions around. And I can also delete dimensions, like here, my top bun, I can put that dimension over on the regular view, as well as the view right here for the bottom bun. Okay. So I can delete that, and then I won't have so much confusion happening. And then this one, I'm just going to extend it out so it doesn't cause that much issue. And then the last thing that I want to do is I want to add a parts list. So I'm going to add the parts list, and the first thing it wants to know is which view. So I'm going to select this view here. No, actually this view. And then I'm going to say OK. And say OK. Dialog box, or this box that pops up in this top corner, and say OK. Double click on it, and it brings up this dialog box. I'm going to right click here and click on column chooser. And then I'm going to delete the description, or click on description and remove it, and say OK. And then apply and OK. And all that does is it eliminates that last column, so it shrinks it. And of course, we can also shrink each column individually. Okay. I want to create a projected section view. There we go. There we go. That one. That's what I want. And create. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm just going to move this down and then move this over. Okay, so now that I have all of this, I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to click on this one that says Style from Base, and then uncheck mark it, and then click on Colored, and say OK, and that brings in all the color for these items. Okay. Okay, so now that I have all of the views that I want, I can start adding my balloons. So I'm just going to zoom in here and select my different layers. Right click, continue, right click, continue. So I can do it individually like that, where I click each item. And make sure that you guys are hitting all layers. So as you see, I am having issues selecting one item, and that's fine. Inventor does that every now and then, where it just doesn't want to work with you. So this is what you guys should have on your title block. Once you guys have completed everything, you're going to print it out, and I will then staple it to the bulletin board outside the classroom. If you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video.